afternoon, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. And it's a pleasure. So starting with you first, Whitney, it's simple way to begin. How are you doing at the moment?
I am good. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
No complaints. No
Good.
complaints. It's the easiest, simplest way. And Joe, what about you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderfully, thank you. Yeah, half day at work, on the call with you guys. Couldn't be better.
Fantastic. Big plans this weekend? Got a lot going on?
Nothing for me. Very boring. Relax before we head out the next 2 weekends.
Yeah, just nice and chilled. Very excited to do nothing.
Yeah, because of course you have got busy things coming up. But before that, bigger picture. So I want to look at the past year specifically because it's been a bloody good year for you. And while there is, of course, so much more to come, right now, when you reflect on what you've kind of accomplished this year so far, Whitney, are you satisfied with what you've done?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this year has been, we've done things this year that I couldn't ever have like imagined fitting all in 1 year. Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. I'm just, yeah, I'm super proud. I'm super proud. I really do think that like you have to have that mindset of if everything stopped tomorrow, you should be proud of what you've done. But this year is super like it's really made me think I'm so proud of what we've done this year.
Fantastic. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I think it's been a very productive year for sure. I mean, we set a target for ourselves to go with some really try for quality over quantity. 'Cause the last year was a lot of shows, and we rammed them in, but maybe we could have focused on quality a bit. And I think we did that this year, and it's been really
Nothing.
vindicating, shall we say?
You say you mean quality over quantity? Do you mean in regard in like in live shows?
Yeah, live shows. It's just everything in general. Just taking more time to focus on what we're doing, what we're putting out. Actually, maybe taking a step back from just going right. Let's write this. Right. Let's just get writing. Let's just play shows. To let's let's focus on playing really good shows. Let's focus on putting on a great show, and let's whittle down these things. I mean, you'll see. Obviously, we had a lot of songs last year, but this year has been a bit more not sparse, but going for that quality over quantity rather than just throwing them out. And I think that's really worked for us. I'm very proud of all that because at the end of the day, we've come out with 5 songs that are absolute bangers, in my opinion.
Well, good, because of course we are on this path. We're on the path to releasing your brand new EP, Orchid Street, out the 28th of November 2024. 5 tracks long, as you said, with 3 actually already available. Let's get that out there. We got Deliver Me, Liminal, and most recently Leash. All are out there for everyone to hear. So individually, if you can, starting with you, Whitney, sum up what you wanted to portray with this EP and these specific set of tracks.
So with the whole Orchid Street EP, I wanted to portray like growth in, personally, but also spiritually. I wanted to explore a lot of the like darker sides of spirituality, a lot of the more interesting sides of it as well. Orchid Street as a track is written about reincarnation, and I wanted to explore like the darker side that starts with kind of like liminal and then go into Orchid Street, which is more of like the um more of a lighter, more kind of not exciting, but more like of a brighter side of like maybe what could be there.
Are you talking from a lyrical point of view?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what about you, Joe? Do you have a different sort of summation?
I mean, for me, obviously, apart from Liminal, I didn't have such a heavy hand in the lyrics as Whitney did. So I found
Mm.
it was really interesting when those songs started coming together to see that development of okay, yeah, different parts of like spirituality and the human psyche, but with well, I can speak on Liminal personally was really interesting sort of summations of maybe not, excuse me, maybe not so much spirituality, but sort of just what humans can do and look to do to get to that place. Rather, with Whitney's lyrics, it became very not, I don't want to say self-centered because that's not fair, but it's sort of self-reflective, shall we say. And I think, yeah, that's I don't really know.
Well, from a musical point of view, then, not specifically lyrics, like get the summation there rather than say the lyrical point of view.
With the music, I think this is definitely our most varied musically EP. There's a lot of different genre influences in there, I'd say, especially when the EP, when you get the last two songs from the EP, it's all going to make sense as a package. I think it evolves its way through, definitely, and it rather than an escalation, it more turns into a going over here, going over there, coming back. Where's this going? I think it's a really interesting development. I think how it's been laid out, we very specifically chose this order of tracks to give you a journey.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of thought has gone into, because obviously when you've got 5 tracks, 3 are already out, and often it is the case that an EP ends up being out and all its singles before the actual EP drops. It just becomes a collection. So you have thought long and hard about the track flow, the listing, and how you wanted it to go together.
Oh
yeah. We had a lot of conversations about that and how it would. One, obviously, you've got to release your singles, the ones that sound like singles. But I think it's been a happy coincidence that what we've left till the end it was meant to be left to the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, all 5 could be singles in their own right. That's the thing, aside from, not releasing a 12-minute epic, so to speak, what is a single these days? Really, you just need to get on a playlist, and that really applies. But all 5 could easily fit in that bracket, I think.
Thank you.
It's also interesting you talk about variety as well, because I don't know if I'm being fair here, but to me, it feels like this EP is a summation of everything you are up to this specific point. Like, you want to take your past and your history of the last couple of years and what you've learned and developed as artists. And this is a showcase of all of that. But as you say, all your influences and ideas and creative stuff, almost like you found who you are and have gained the confidence to kind of showcase that. I'm being very presumptuous here, so I'm simply going to ask you, Whitney, am I right?
Yes, for sure. I think like everything we've released up until now has been like songs that were already kind of existing, and then we've kind of made them and molded them into our songs. But what's so special about Orchid Street is that these songs, we literally had 30, 40 demos, and we would just go over them, and we would find the strongest ones, and then we would strategically make sure that once obviously all the lyrics had been written, I personally had a very clear road of what I wanted this story to be. So then once all the songs were kind of planned out, it all made sense when it kind of all was brought together. And it's definitely the truest representation of us as musicians and how we've grown together. Definitely.
Do you agree, Joe?
Yeah, I think Whitney nailed that when she said it's how we've grown together, because this is 3 years for me now in this band, and the last few songs we've released were very much not quite catching the end of before I joined, but very much in the same vein. And I think it's definitely, we've grown together. We've taken all of our influences and not been afraid to put them in. Like you said, it is a representation of all of us and all of our parts through it as well. And our understanding of each other and how we play and how we all sort of coexist within the song, that's definitely grown and molded itself together. And I think that's just lent to not like a more finished product, a more realistic product for us, and exactly who we are. And that's what's so, what's the word? Nice. Can't think of a better one.
It's a great barometer as well for the future, right? It's not like this is a draw on the line under a specific period in time. It's just this is where we're at now, and this is how it will continue to go as you, and of course, as you grow and continue to learn and develop as artists, you know, who knows where you'll go. But right now, it just creates this image of a very exciting future.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah, this very much feels like not an end goal we've got to, but very much the start of Arimea as it should be now.
Yeah, way too much to come.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Whitney, this is going to be for you specifically, I think. So, this EP, you know, it's an open and honest record with some heady subjects covered that are extremely relatable. A very important aspect of who you are, obviously, but not always the easiest thing to do. So, where does the honesty and emotion come from? And how comfortable are you now at exposing yourself in this way?
I think I've always been a very like emotionally open and available person. I'm very
Mhm.
like if I'm asked about it, I will just tell all. It's absolutely fine. Um, I think like there's a certain aspect of when things happen, you have to accept that it's happened and let it go to move on and be happy. I think one of the most taxing songs that I've ever been part of was Leash. Leash was one of the most emotionally uh hard songs for me to like write and then feel comfortable to release. But I think at the same time, Leash is one of the more the one that people will relate to the most. So I find a lot of comfort in knowing that people will find like help in that or like comfort in it. So that helps me feel able to share.
Do you think it's something that is getting easier as the months and years tick by, as you do this more and more?
Um, yes, depending on like subject, I
Fair.
think it's definitely depending on the subject. I think with a lot that's going on in the world, especially in America, it makes it quite hard, makes it feel a little bit trickier to kind of feel safe in talking about your feelings and like standing up for yourself and stuff. But I think
Mm.
like I've got such a strong unit within Aramea that it's like I don't ever really feel in danger or like, judged.
You feel safe by who you're surrounded by.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, that's fabulous to hear. I'll tie into that. I wanted to ask then, is there one of the five tracks that perhaps have a more personal feeling for you than any other? Based on what you kind of said, I think you might be leaning towards Leash, right?
Yeah, I feel like Leash is definitely one that is like the most I've I was the most worried to put out, but not worried, but anxious, I guess you would say. But I think Orchid Street itself is the most important song for me on that EP because
Mm.
it's all about growth and it's all about finding somewhere where you belong finally after years of feeling like you don't. And like that for me is what that song means for me.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, that's great to hear. I don't mean to laugh there. I don't know if you saw that, but basically, Joe's cat basically just jumped in
I've
front of that
no
camera.
idea what you're talking about.
It's funny because I've got two cats here, but I fed them directly before this interview, so they're both now asleep over there, thankfully.
I've been that one.
Um,
Love it.
Joe, I wanted to ask you the same question really about a specific track of the five that perhaps holds a bit more personal value to you, has a bit more personal feeling for you.
Ooh. It's really tricky because I do go back and forth
Mm.
every time I listen to them, and especially as we've been releasing them, I go, "Oh, this is my favorite," and then we release the next one. I go, "Actually, no, this is my favorite." Um, yeah, it's tricky. I think um, I think one that's coming up, Golden Hour, um, which is the last song on the record, is for me it's the most emotional, and I find, and especially vocally, the performance from Whitney is unbelievable in that song.
Mm.
And for me, that's what I find really, really like instantly I can connect with a really good vocal performance. Um, and the lyrics in that, and all of it basically is it captures you and it doesn't let you go until the end. And I find that to be the most powerful when I listen to it. But in terms of aggression, Leash is right up there. It's, it's like I was saying earlier, it's sort of got everything for you in terms of that emotional, no, I want to say emotional roller coaster, but it kind of is. It goes up and down and sideways, and it explores every sort of facet of the human emotion. So I'll stick with Golden Hour, but Leash is a close second.
With an EP, with a set of tracks that are so based in feeling, of course, when you're listening, your feelings come to account too. If you're feeling in a particular mood, this track will be your current favorite, and so on and so forth. It's just how it works. But when you've got 5 absolute bangers like this, it sure makes it a hell of a lot easier to point at them.
Thank you.
So when you first, we got to go back a little bit here to kind of like the earliest point, I guess, of the creation of this EP. I realize it may not have been an initial, what was supposed to be an EP, but the earliest point that you can remember, did you have a vision for what you wanted to do? Were you thinking EP? Were you thinking album? Were you just thinking songs?
Yeah. So last year we released a big lump of music, and we had about 10 songs. And our manager at the time, Jamie Gowers, bless him, when we first started working with him, we told him that we wanted to put an album out, and he basically was like, no, let's not let's not do that. That's crazy. So we didn't do that, and luckily we didn't. And we released it as singles with B-sides to create like a foundation. But we literally did that so that we could release the EP. This EP. So we knew that the EP was next, and this was what we were going to do, and this is what we were going to be growing and working towards. And then once we started, once the last track had been released of last year, we were like, right, let's get going. And we kind of put all of our ideas together, and we came up, it was like demo after demo after demo. I was like non-stop, and it was just listening to demos every day, every single chance you could get. And it was just the amount of work that went into it, and the amount of dedication on finding the songs that really resonated with us, to then move forward and work on together. It was like a full-time job when we all had full-time jobs. So it was a lot of hard work and a lot of stress, but we got there in the end.
Why put so much work on yourselves in that regards? Like, so you want to find the best of the best. I completely understand that as well. But you could have, in theory, just carried on as you had done. Not necessarily releasing the amount or the volume, but you could have obviously just continued to go, here's a single every, say, 3 months or 4 months, or that kind of thing. You were obviously quite dead set on putting an EP out, a release like that. Why?
Yeah, we had a plan, and I think once we have a plan, we want to stick to it as much as possible. I think we all work in the same way, that if something doesn't go to plan, and whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but if one deadline or something doesn't go to plan, we all kind of start getting a bit like, oh gosh, like, so that let's continue and make the plan now onto this deadline, which we've kind of grown to be able to do, because deadlines and Arimea seem to be missed.
Don't coexist.
Creatively, creative deadlines anyway, we should say. But yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay. Creative deadlines, right? So all right. So they don't exist for you. Fair enough. I understand that. I think deadlines, particularly when it comes to creativity, are almost a bit silly, but they are useful when it comes to creating music and stuff like that. Otherwise, you're just playing around with things constantly and may never get to a finished point. Who in the band then, Joe, you can tell me this, who in the band is the person who kind of says, right, this needs to stop here. We need to finish this track. We need to do this. We need to do that, and so on.
I think we're all quite
Yeah.
like that. I mean, for me, I'm always like, oh, okay, can we do this? So we make the deadline, then Whitney will have a little bit of a panic, then end up pulling out the best thing you've ever heard. So Whitney works well under pressure. All diamonds are created under extreme pressure, as they say.
Mm.
I'm constantly panicking about it, and we always seem to make it. And then the other two will somehow miraculously just go, "Oh yeah, I just did this. I forgot to send it over," and it's
Yeah.
done. We seem to just about make them every time by the skin of our teeth, and and uh,
Yeah.
and get them done. But I think it's all we've all got the little bits of personality that help us to just about do it. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the one that's honestly probably the one that's cracking the whip the most.
Mm.
Um, and getting a little bit frustrated, and then going, "Oh, it's fine. Everyone's done it. No
Yeah.
worry."
I would say Joe is the one that is the
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
like,
maybe I
come
didn't want
on,
to admit
guys,
it.
let's do it. And then we're all kind of like, okay, it's all good, it's done. And then Joe's there like, ah.
Yeah, on the floor in the corner crying, going, Why did no one tell me?"
It's chaos, but it is controlled chaos, and eventually it all works out. Obviously, like as you know, are hardly sustainable long term, and hopefully you'll find something that works a little bit more smoothly for you. But real life gets in the way as well, so ultimately it's always going to be hard to kind of stick to these specific plans. And it's at least good that you tried to, I guess, right?
Yeah, set a date and it'll at least be about 2 weeks after that. Sorted.
Genre defining, we love it. Everybody likes to put bands in holes. Do you know what I mean? Pigeonhole them to a certain degree, and you get it just the same. In fact, yours is a little bit more terrifying. I, like many others, get a little nervous when I hear the genre term new metal. It's so damn intangible these days, far removed from what it was when I was a teenager in the late 90s and early noughties. So I am a child of that era. Yet, obviously, you do cite influences from that period within your music, but you're so much more than that. However, you do seem to get narrowed down to being called a new metal band. Kind of drives me nuts a little bit. Are you okay with that, or are you like, do you just want to be indefinable? Would you prefer to be indefinable?
No, I love new metal. I think new
Yeah,
metal is the best genre in the world. And
not
for us
all
to
of
be
it.
for us to be labeled as a new metal band, I think is well cool. I think that's great. If people want to keep calling us a new metal band, so be it. I don't mind.
Absolutely. I mean, all of our favorite bands are new metal in some degree. It's the biggest compliment you could receive.
Mm.
It is wonderful in one side and baffling another that it's kind of made a return over the last X amount of years,
Mm.
you know. But yeah, I don't think it's not so much that it's a negative term these days. I think because it is so evolved from what it was the late 90s noise, but those of a certain age, it still has those negative connotations. So like but you're not, well, you can be called a new metal band and you want to be called a new metal to some degree. It hardly is the summation of your sound. You agree with me on that, yeah?
Mhm. Of course.
Sure.
Good.
We've got a lot of
Okay.
influences from lots of different places, I think.
And it all comes together.
Yeah.
Okay, Whitney, what do you personally get out of making this kind of music, your kind of music?
Mm. Um, I get a lot of like release. I have a lot of like whether it's stress, anxiety, anger, love, excitement. Whenever we record or play shows, it all kind of comes out, and I think it's really refreshing, and it's like you get that release and then you're a clean slate, and then you get the build up again, and then you can release it again. And I think I don't really know what I would do without being able to have that release.
Fantastic. How about you, Joe?
Oh, I just always have the time of my life.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm with these guys, it's just the best. I mean, on live, there's nowhere else I'm more comfortable. On stage with the three of them, it's everything for us, and I think that's the way it should be.
Mm.
All said. Back to you, Whitney. What do you hope listeners take away from this EP?
I would love for them just to listen and feel like they are part of it, like feel like they're part of us. I've never wanted anything more than for our fan base to feel like they can relate to our music and that they are part of it, part of the band. That's all I've that's all I want. I don't think there's anything worse than listening to a song and just not being able to connect with it. So that's all I want from this EP, just connection.
It is as simple as that. You couldn't. You put that so wonderfully. Yeah, I agree with you. Actually, I think there's nothing worse than that because if you're not feeling anything at all, there's nothing there. You'll forget about it 5 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, what about you? Have you got something you would specifically like that you would hope listeners take away?
Oh, I don't think I can add much more to that.
Mm.
It's just about the connection. I mean, it's something you can't get from any other medium for me. There's a certain connection that music makes that hopefully if we've got it right, and we've conveyed it properly, if people get a real strong connection with any of these songs, with any emotion, I'll be very happy.
Excellent. Okay, well then, sticking with you then, Joe. What would, aside from a ton of money, what would success for this EP look like for you, or even the individual songs?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Mm.
It's really difficult to measure for me. I would say progression, obviously, is always the key. It's getting further than we have and getting as many people to listen to it that are really keen to. I'm not looking to, we're not looking to just push it out to anyone and everyone that's to try and convert them, say. I think it's more of it's really connecting with people. Again, it comes back to that core fan base we have, obviously, that have been with us for a long time from the start, before I was even in the band,
Mm.
and staying connected with those guys and finding more people like that, because we've got some fucking brilliant fans, excellent people that really love us and let it be known, and it's really heartwarming. Just having more people like that that'd be a pretty good goal for me.
What about you, Whitney? You got anything to add there?
Um, Same as Joe, but I think for
Mm.
me, I think it's really important for me personally to just feel accomplished and proud of the EP once it's out, regardless of what happens. I think we've put so much effort into this EP, and once it's in the public domain, it's not ours anymore, it's everybody's. And I'm just proud to see that it's out there for everybody to listen to. And, I hope people choose to listen to it. I would love people to love it as much as we love it and feel the emotion that we've put into it as well, because then it just feels like it's all paid off. But for us, I think it's this piece of work that we've done, and I'm so proud of it already that I'm excited for it to be out and in everybody's hands.
I mean, thankfully, the reaction to the singles is a good barometer of how the full thing is likely to be received. I'm very confident this is going to go down an absolute storm, based off just the singles alone.
Thank you.
So much.
Well, looking ahead, we have a couple of shows at the end of this month, November, of course, as well. And I mean, you tell me, you taking Christmas off, basically. Is that it for the end of the year, and then basically hitting the ground running again in 2025?
Yes, almost. Gosh, I would love to take Christmas off. We do have one show on the 30th. But other than that, I think we will be taking some well-earned time away, just to, recoup for January. But we've got one show on the 30th of December, in London, but that will be announced soon. So other than that, yes, I'm excited for Christmas. I'm ready. I've had Heart Christmas on in the car already.
Already.
Yeah, already. 2 weeks strong.
No, I mean, I am not an anti-Christmas person. I love it. I love it. I love it. And on that front, then I have to ask you, if you could cover any Christmas song in the entire world, both of you individually, what would you want to do?
I would love to cover, what Christmas songs? So many. I
Yeah.
would love to do, um, oh God. Joe, you go first. What would you
I'm struggling as well.
I know.
That was an incredibly unexpected question.
I know. I mean, I love
Um,
all Christmas songs, but like doing a cover of one, I just don't know what we
I
would do.
know it wouldn't be Mariah Carey for you.
yeah, I mean
Uh,
that's overdone. I mean, how niche do you go here? Or I mean, what style are we talking? Say, are we doing Cliff Richard here? Or are you doing something like Slade,
Cliff.
which already has the rock?
Oh,
I
Cliff's
think we
not a
should
big
do
shout.
a. I think we would do like a Michael Bublé.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, we could get some crooning in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be a challenge as well.
yeah. Maybe let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
There we go.
It's a classic. There it
Let's
is.
let's do that as a duo answer there.
Yeah.
Looking into 2025 then, what's a realistic goal that you both individually would like to achieve for next year?
Um, for next year, I would like to um have an image for the band that is easy for everybody to I would love this EP to set an image for the band that we can keep consistent and people would be like, oh, that's like Arimea. That's Arimea. I would like that.
That's so cool. That is never, no one has ever said that in response to this sort of dream, like
Ah!
the goal. Ever said that? That's the first time I've ever heard that. What an incredible answer. Joe, do you have something to add there?
I would like to play all of the massive festivals to 20,000 people. That'd be nice. Realistically, yeah, I think that's quite a good answer. I can't really beat that one. That's quite interesting. I mean, other than
Yeah.
the generic, I would like to have 1 million Spotify streams and £20,000 in my hand right now. Then no, no, that's a pretty good one.
Realistic and fair. And hey, these festivals, I mean, it is, festival booking season time. Nothing's off the cards, as it were. Download, Bloodstock, you name it, all the other sort of smaller ones. Who knows, right? Fingers crossed you end up at some, if not the year after. A
Mm.
couple more minutes of your time, guys, if you don't mind. This is Ozzy Osbourne, and in his head are cards of everything and anything, including tons of submissions by bands and artists that we've spoken to over the years. What I do now is just pull some out and at random. It's all in the name of fun, so you're not going to be given anything uncomfortable or rude or nasty here. It's all in the name of fun. So I'm just going to pull some out, and you don't mind answering them, basically.
Lovely.
Right, we shall start then. Whitney, what is a dream holiday destination for you?
Mm. I would love to do a tour of America. Well, probably not actually, not right now. I think I would like to I think I'd like to go to oh, there's so many. This should be a really quick, easy answer, but it's
Feel
just
free to
not.
jump in, Joe, if you've got a quick, easy one.
Um, Norway, done.
Oh, yes.
Norway is
Well,
nice.
when you say America, ignoring, now, but if you could, we took a road trip here, yeah? Like road trip car, whatever, recreation RV, and just drive across it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
banging.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Yes. Pineapple and black olives is the best pizza there is.
Pineapple and black olives. Goodness
Yeah.
me.
No, no.
Mm, 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 mm.
I was with you until you added olives. That's a texture nightmare.
Okay, then. Do you have any habits another person might call annoying? And this is good because there's two of you, so you could answer for each other.
Oh, that would be no. Shouldn't do
Oh
that.
yeah, come on, let's do that. Joe's annoying habit
Yeah.
is
Whitney's annoying habit is taking too
road
long to
rage.
answer questions.
Did you say road rage as well? There it is. I love it. Okay. If you could go back and give your teenage self one piece of advice, what would it be?
It would be everything is going to work out perfectly. Just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I'd echo that. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
Would you go on, sorry.
And don't be such a doormat. Don't let people walk over you. Stand up for yourself. because people's feelings get hurt all the time. So it's better that you protect yourself.
Well put. Would you have listened though? Do you think either of you would you have listened?
No.
No.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. TikTok, yay or nay?
Ugh, it has to be yay, but it has to be yay. There's no other option, but
I'm
I
unfortunately on go on.
I think I click to open TikTok maybe once every like 4 months.
Mm.
And I just can't get into it. But for the band, luckily Tom does the TikTok, so that's good.
Okay. Cats or dogs? I think we know the answer for one of you.
Cat.
Yeah, that's very presumptuous. I can't choose.
I say
You
cats.
say cats. There we go. Fair enough. What is the last thing you do before you go to sleep?
Tell my boyfriend I love him.
I could say something like that. It would be really nice, but it's watch engineering videos on YouTube.
Fair enough.
Engineering of any specific anything engineering wise, or is there a specific like area of expertise you're looking at?
Normally aircraft, I'll be honest.
All right, couple more. Who was your first TV or movie crush?
Oh, Bart Simpson.
That's a unique one.
Keira Knightley and Bend It Like Beckham.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Okay. That shows your age. It does.
Oh, that's painful thought.
Have you ever experienced something unexplainable?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you want to elaborate? It's up to you. You don't have to.
Well, I am a firm, but here we go again. God, every interview, every radio interview, every podcast always ends in this. Like Joe, look at Joe, he's absolutely laughing. I'm a big believer in spirits and ghosts, and there's a lot that's happened in my lifetime.
To ensure that you have this belief. That's what you're saying. Like a lot's occurred around you, or you've seen or felt or whatever to have this belief.
Oh, yeah. Loads of stuff. Like
nobody has the right to mock or question that. You know, that's you. That's entirely you. I've got nothing to sort of say and laugh or joke about. So I mean, like I believe the opposite, but that's my my thing. So
yeah.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. But that's for another time. We can talk about that another time. We need
I feel that feels like a specific thing in itself, almost. Yes, absolutely. Because I'll take it. You feel the opposite, Joe?
No, I don't deny anything. I would believe it when I do. Actually, I would love to see a ghost. I would love to see it. If they exist, I would love to see it.
Fair enough.
But until now, unfortunately not.
Okay, right. Second last one, and I think this, I don't know, maybe this ties into it. What is a topic that you are quite argumentative about?
Cricket.
Cricket. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to convert everyone to enjoying cricket, and it hasn't worked. Continues not to work.
Play it or just watch and enjoy?
Oh no, I chose the music path rather than any hand-eye coordination with regards to cricket bats or balls.
The sports star.
Yeah, no, it didn't go well for me. So no, I'm a keen enjoyer, but I'm very poor.
How about you, Whitney? Do you have one?
I don't think I do, to be honest. I don't think I'm a very argumentative person. But if I think of one, I'll let you know if I get into an argument.
Absolutely. Okay, right, last but not least, what is something that never fails to make you smile?
My boyfriend's cat, Kevin.
Boyfriend's cat, Kevin.
Very, very
And that checks out. Kevin.
Yeah.
Being on stage, always turning around, seeing Ricky just grinning like a clown. Yeah, that specifically makes me smile a lot.
Even when you're having those days when you're tired, you're feeling a bit run down, it all feels a bit, I don't know what's the word, not pointless, but it all just feels like a lot of effort. Even then, you'll get that smile when you're up there.
Oh yeah, no. As soon as that first note plays the intro track, that's it. We're going every
Ding,
time.
ding,
That's the one.
ding.
Well, I'm fantastic that you have all these positive feelings with that environment, because of course you've got the shows coming up at the end of November, the 30th as well, in December. And of course, all importantly, on the 28th of November, Orchid Street is released. Your brand new EP, all 5 tracks, of course, 3 are out now, so do go check them out in the meantime. And yeah, look forward to seeing what 2025 holds for you. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.